You, Hanson, how exactly are national and city managers trying to overcome the challenges of inadequate service delivery?
There are a lot of initiatives that have been implemented by city managers to redress the challenges that they are facing and that their residents are facing, particularly of inadequate service provision. But let me state that the biggest challenge that we have done is that in resolving these problems, most of our municipalities are actually not able to service or maintain the current infrastructure. And so I will address your question in twofold because they gave you the two challenges in twofold. And so equally the problems we will resolve them. I will be able to provide initiatives in that manner. And so if we look at how the city managers are resolving infrastructure challenges, the first thing to note is that municipalities in Zambia have already demonstrated inadequacies in terms of management of city infrastructure. We've seen that they have not been able to adequately maintain the existing infrastructure. Remember, we already have a problem of inadequate infrastructure, but even that inadequate infrastructure, we have municipalities, cities that are not able to maintain this infrastructure. And so even when we say how then are they trying to solve this problem, most of their initiatives are around construction of new infrastructure, which in a way is increasing their maintenance costs, the maintenance bills under their budgets. And so what we've seen is that there's been a drive towards construction of new infrastructure. In most cases, this drive is being done in collaboration with central government and other collaborating partners. In terms of road infrastructure, I think in the recent past, most of the municipalities have received a fair share of road expansion that they've had to invest in road expansion. For instance, central government, in collaboration with municipalities around the country, have invested in road projects. An example is the Lusaka 400 project, where 400 kilometers of township roads were upgraded, rehabilitated, and tarred, particularly in the city of Lusaka. We also had a similar project on the copper belt, should be the L 300 kilometers. I mean the C 300 kilometers, which was a road project to rehabilitate and expand local roads around municipalities on the copper belt. Besides that, cities like Lusaka have also implemented what they're calling the Lusaka Decongestion Project, where they've built a number of flyover bridges just to decongest the city, where they've also expanded main roads. Beyond that, we've seen the American people, in collaboration with central government and the municipality of Lusaka, implementing a sanitation project where they've invested massively in upgrading and construction of sanitation facilities as well as drainage facilities. So, in terms of infrastructure, we've actually seen that drive where local authorities are moving towards allocating greater portions of their resources into infrastructure just to make sure that they keep pace with the growing population. Beyond that, we've seen calls by local authorities encouraging private and public institutional investors to actually invest in infrastructure. So we've seen a number of institutional investors investing in a number of shopping malls. Institutional investors like the National Pension Fund have also invested in housing complex, where they're trying to mitigate the housing deficit within municipalities around the country. In terms of capacity challenges, we've had a number of initiatives implemented, obviously been driven by the central government, but then in collaboration with the central, I mean, the local governments, which are the municipalities. So under governance, we've seen the introduction of the office of mayor being elected by the locals of that jurisdiction. In Zambia, previously, mayors were elected by fellow councillors. And so what was discovered is that then councillors were more accountable to their voters who were the councillors. And so they were not so accountable to residents of those cities. And so to redress that challenge, there's actually an amendment in their constitution where mayors are now elected by residents of that jurisdiction. This actually gives them more authority, and that they should be more accountable to the people that vote for them, and that their mandate is from the people and not from the councillors. Beyond that, to increase the administrative and technical capacities of these local authorities, we've seen that the government introduced what they call in the local government service commission. It's a body corporate in charge of recruitment and retention of qualified manpower for municipalities around the country. And so we've seen that most local authorities are now being managed by qualified personnel. In terms of redressing the financial capacities, what's been realized is that the expenditure responsibilities of most of these local authorities have been so high compared to the revenue responsibilities that have been assigned to these local authorities. And so to redress that, city managers have been trying to modernize their revenue collection tools. This is where we see revenue systems being modernized and introducing technologies that just enhance efficiency and seal any loopholes that might have been in the revenue collection systems. But beyond that, we've seen government introducing, central government introducing the local government equalization fund. This was after the realization that the revenue capacities of most cities was not the same. And so to equalize this differentiated, the difference in revenue capacities, government introduced what they're calling the local government equalization fund. This is actually meant to provide a predictable and stable source of revenue for local authorities, with the view that local authorities then will be able to enhance and just improve service provision to the public. Beyond that, we've seen the introduction of the Constituency Development Fund, which is also part of the intergovernmental transfers to city managers, meant to help them implement development project, particularly infrastructure development. And so under that, we've seen a number of municipalities constructing schools and health centers. And so those have been some of the initiatives that these local authorities have been implementing. Of course, a large part of these initiatives being supported by central government and collaborating partners.